But they have their weapons, standard equipment for level 1, and of course coin.
Yeah. So coin, crossbow bolt, and crossbow.
Okay, so do you take all the crossbow and all the bolts? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you take any
And the
other
coin.
equipment?
No. I mean, if he can't carry it, I mean, he already has a problem with money because he can't really do very much with it. So, other than spend it, and even at that point, there's going to be some limit. So,
Okay. Give me a second here. You find 5 gems. To your eyes, they don't look particularly large or valuable, but they're a variety of colors, which looks pretty nice. And are you just taking the gold, or you want all the coins?
just the gold.
26 pieces between the four, or between the 4 of them. And one of the guys has a pair of really, really nice fur-lined boots that look a size too big for you.
And yeah, all right.
And boots.
Since you brought it up. Yeah.
So, you got to put on an extra pair of socks and lace these boots up real tight. But they're comfortable, and they have nice soles.
Awesome.
What else do you do with these people?
No, I'm done.
You're done?
Once I've rested, taken their stuff, I'm done.
Well,
Get
now,
out.
when you say rest, are you staying for the full night and leaving in the morning, or are you leaving at night?
Yeah, leaving in the early morning.
Okay.
Rest.
So yeah, you managed to, do you stay awake through the night, or do you sleep?
I sleep.
Okay, so easily enough, you wake up. They're all sleeping in. They've been drinking like monsters for 20 hours. So you gather up the goods. And where do you go? Early pre-dawn. It is no longer Greenbeer Day.
Oh, let's go to the bazaar.
Okay.
Watch people set up their stalls and everything.
What is Kelian's passive perception?
14.
14. You're being followed as you're heading towards the bazaar by a Harmonium patrol. 3 members strong. It's very rare to see a patrol that small. And one of them is a lizard man. Green, reptilian, disgusting looking thing.
I wouldn't know about Dan, would I? Or whatever his name was. Ben. Dan was the old campaign.
Yeah, you didn't hear about Ben.
But you
Alright.
tell they're following you. They're trying to stay out of your sight, but you notice them.
I don't like this. Try to lose him.
Try to lose them?
Yeah.
And how are you going to do that?
Turn into an alley, roll stealth.
So where are you hiding when you duck into an alley?
I look for. I'm trying to hide in the shadows, and if there are accessible like crates, barrels, any sort of like barrier that would help obscure their view.
Okay. You duck into an alley that runs alongside a tiny manor house in the lower ward. A run-down kind of place with a broken outer wall. And you manage to get into this alley and press yourself up just on the inside of that outer wall. And you're thinking the overgrowth of dead, transplanted trees now running over with razor vine, ducking back into the shadows and pressing yourself back here. They see you duck into the alley, and after a moment, go ahead and roll your stealth.
18.
And after a moment, you hear them enter the alley as well. And they begin throwing aside crates, looking up and down. You see them walk past from your vantage point, just barely. You're pressed way up back behind the wall, and you have a sliver of sight into the alley. You see them walk past, and one of them looks back into the tangle of razor vine that you're hiding in, and looks back and forth, but then pulls out. And after they've searched the entire alley, the lizard man tells him he's not here. Let's keep looking. And they walk away.
Excellent. All right. Once I'm sure they're gone, I wait a few additional minutes anyway.
Okay.
And I get out of the alley, and then I go back to the bazaar and continue trying to be inconspicuous, let's say.
Okay. Are you wearing your faded mark at all?
At this point, yeah.
You are?
Yeah, he would have dropped the Joshua persona that he was adopting.
Okay. Walking to the bazaar, just as lights are coming on in Sigil, a few faded members who are doing some early morning produce shopping spot you and greet you and ask if you heard the news.
Oh, about the harmonium and all of how all of that went on? Yeah, I saw what happened.
And they exchange glances. No, we mean about Darkwood. The Factal landed on our door. Implicated a clerk named Torier. Darkwood got hold of him. He's keeping him detained in the Hall of Records. He's turned aside any harmonium who have come to collect him.
I look aghast. No. How scandalous.
One of them says, the only scandalous thing is that he got caught. I wouldn't have, I'll tell you that much.
Of course.
The other one says, these organic tomatoes are delightful. So yeah, that's the chant from the Hall of Records. That Torier's been detained by Factal Darkwood. Apparently Darkwood's on the warpath. He's enraged. And words going around of what's going to happen to Torier about this.
Interesting.
This is, okay. Yeah, the story goes, apparently at some point yesterday, sometime after, or sometime before that Modron got arrested, a lizard man, Harmonium, showed up at the Hall of Records.
Lizard man, huh?
Yeah, they had a meeting with Torier. One of the aides overheard what they were talking about, something to do with Torier's connection to this slavery business. The aide immediately reported to Darkwood. Darkwood clapped Torier in items right then and there.
Okay.
Throw a Wiz 10 real quick.
Okay. That is 11.
If Ben found Torier, Torier would have given you up immediately.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Okay.
And then they begin gossiping about other things happening in town, happening throughout the faction.
I converse politely.
Do you buy any organic tomatoes?
No. Absolutely not.
Kelian prefers the GMO tomatoes. Those
obviously. Yes.
Big old friggin' like half-pound steak tomatoes. I love those.
Square tomatoes with barcodes on them.
We're going to take a 2-minute break so I can run to the fridge and get my 1 Pepsi for the week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to
Sounds about
grab
right.
some water. We'll be right back.
hello, chat. How are you doing?
Or I will not get a Pepsi because there were no cold ones in the fridge.
Lame.
Turns out when you only drink once a week, you forget to put them in the fridge, apparently. I'm going to go ahead and open up chat until everybody gets back. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? I have to wonder if that's the first group of people that McDohl has so just shamelessly robbed.
That was pretty awful, I gotta say.
It was terrible. It was genuinely terrible.
At least you feel that way.
I doubt Kelian feels that way, though.
No, he totally doesn't.
Well,
That was genuinely an evil act.
Yeah.
so it's like,
But to be fair, he's also a murderer for hire. So
I don't know. That didn't work out that well for you.
yeah, you still kind of haven't gotten away with the murder right now yet. Like, it's still kind of a thing that. But what was I gonna say? It's like McDohl was like, I played a goody two shoes for 60 some odd sessions. What am I gonna do this time around? I'm going to make a sociopathic murderer.
You gotta mix it up, you know? You gotta...
Yeah.
I always get bored by players who play the same thing in every campaign. Like, I told the story about that guy who always played the lawful good paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he didn't qualify for a paladin, he played a lawful good fighter who pretended to be a paladin. He was good. He was good at it. He was a good role player. It was just the same character every game. We had the other guy who always played like the brooding, like Twilight angst character in every game. He thought that was real clever every time. I did the opposite. I played a lawful evil warlock for an entire campaign, and now I'm playing a good aligned, simple-minded fighter. The polar opposite character.
way less intense.
Yeah.
It's fun playing the simple-minded aspect of his... Like, he's not stupid. His intelligence is pretty high. But he's just not very clever. And he's been given a lot of responsibility that he can't really handle by the king of the area he's in. So I'm, like, purposely messing things up. Like, everybody in the group is messing things up. It's because I play with a bunch of fuck-ups. So last night, they're like, hey, we fucked everything up in that plan. I said, no, considering how inexperienced we are, I think we fucked up exactly the appropriate amount. Or kind of everything worked out in the end, but it got really messy.
Yeah, that was a thing. See, since I never actually got to play Adric, that's why I picked this character.
I figured as much.
Nah, I'm only half kidding about that.
Well, just Adric was based on Ken, and El Ciclon is based on El Fuerte.
I thought El Ciclon was based on Ryu, so...
Well, El Ciclon was based on Adric.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a copy of a copy. He's like Rio from King Fighters.
So, is everybody back now? Are we still waiting on anybody?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yep.
I'm here.
Sounds like.
I don't want to interrupt McDohl's eggs.
Do we got Destil?
I think
Yeah.
I had the eggs
Yeah.
hours ago.
Yeah, if McDohl's
Come on,
like,
bro.
Yeah, if you interrupt McDohl's eggs, is like to
Dude, are you acting like you
sleep
can't
with
have
you and
eggs
then
more than once?
steal everything you own.
So, we don't have to hit the fast forward button at the moment, but I just kind of want to know for my own edification, what's the next time the group is going to come together?
Well, I'm going to try to get everyone together tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Riot is going to be seeking once she gets the handbills made that she wants, Riot's going to be seeking to protect her from Diller.
And Kelian's
But-
going to find Mahogany in an effort, hopefully, Mahogany make him a lockbox.
So you're going to commission a lockbox from Mahogany. Okay.
Yeah.
Is anybody doing anything personal, anything alone tomorrow in Sigil?
Not especially now.
Yeah, well, Riot's going to the print shop out in the clerk's ward.
Are you're going to go to Harris Hatch's shop?
Yeah, I mean, he's a contact that I've got, and I know he does handbills, so
Okay.
might as well.
How much of a run are you looking for?
I'm looking to cover. Let's see, what ward should I ask him for? Looking to cover the guild hall and clerk's ward.
Okay. But you're printing your anti-faction propaganda, yes?
Right. I want to have the messages I said before on the same bills as copies of the actual correspondence that I've got.
Okay. Hatch is very amused by the handbills. He thinks the wordplay is really good. He has some helpful critiques of things that he would change. And, of course, the artwork, if he had it professionally done, was better. The problem is Hatches says he can't be politically connected in this way. So he's not able to do the run for you. He can't have his name attached to anti-faction handbills. Says,
Can
but
you recommend
he can put you in contact with
someone who could?
a group of chaos men in the hive that do excellent work for exactly this sort of thing.
All right, where can I find him?
And he directs you to this group in the hive, this group of chaos men, that whenever they're handed some sort of material and paid 1 copper per copy that you want made, they can reproduce it perfectly, without fault, every time, down to the grain of the paper.
Huh.
Nobody knows how they do
Alright.
it, and all 6 of them have to work together. But this job will take them about a week. So,
Okay.
how many hundreds of bills do you want? Each 100
I'll
is a
take
gold.
1,000.
Okay.
I'll take. Oh wait, each 100 is 1 gold. Let's see.
Yeah, because 1 per copper, so 100 per gold.
Let's see. How much money do I have at the moment? I think I gave them under all my copper. So each silver is 10 gold. Is 10 copper?
Yes. 10 copper to a silver,
Okay.
10 silver to a gold.
I'll have 1,000,
Okay.
and I'll pay 100. That would be 100 silver.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let me mark on the calendar. And when the Chaos Men quote you a week, that could be a week plus or minus.
Yeah.
It could be done yesterday.
You can, you can never tell.
By the time you get home, you just walk into your house and there's just handbills everywhere.
So
But that's the main. That's the only thing that I'm doing alone. And then I'm going to go right there from there to Serenity's place.
Okay. So that will be done on the 17th, a week from
Okay.
today. And next week is a long week because it has an astral day. So it might be done earlier, it might be done later. They might forget about it. But Hatches recommended them highly, and the work that they do produce and do finish is always, always flawless. So the group reconnects out down in the guild hall ward. The lot of you end up coming together somewhere in between Mahogany shop and Serenity's tenement. I'll let you guys pick the meeting place wherever you want to hold the scene.
Probably the easiest place would be Mahogany
Okay.
shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turn the little sign closed.
Where's that again?
The shop was near to the gymnasium.
Yeah, it's over, I think it was right here.
Yeah, I think it's southwest.
So yeah, just down the road from the gymnasium, just inside of the market ward.
And I'll introduce them all to My new friend.
I forget who named Dolphinder. One of you guys thought that was a silly sounding name.
I think that was me.
And you were right. It is a silly sounding name. And yeah, Dolphinder recounts the story that she told Mahogany last night. And she expresses concern that none of you have been approached by this Aunt Nancy character.
I say, well, we've got notes from her, or I have.
Yeah.
I didn't know about I didn't know what the rest of you had been visited.
I haven't been visited.
I have not been visited, but he or she has certainly been keeping an eye on me.
Dolphinder asks how you know that.
I say that that when my boss tried to have me arrested, he made sure that I still had the engraved trinket. I found it when I woke up the next morning.
She interrupts you halfway through that sentence and asks, arrested for what?
Murder.
You realize you're speaking to a mercy killer.
I'm innocent.
Have you been tried?
They picked me up and questioned me.
She suddenly seems far more interested in this murder investigation.
Yeah.
So she wants to know who questioned you.
I don't remember.
The Harmonium questioned you. The mercy killer's never had a hand on you.
Oh, I got my factions confused. Alright.
Those are two factions
yeah.
that are easy to confuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Harmonium picked me up, questioned me, let me go. Couldn't find anything.
Roll a deception check.
Nah. 16.
You said 16? So what kind of details do you use to sell your lie?
Can I help him out?
Can you help him out? He already made the roll, and he did well on the roll. I just want to know what the story is now.
I explained that my boss Courier overburdened me with work. I told him that I wasn't going to have it. He got really mad at me. I point out that Riot was there at the revealing of what he was involved with, and that.
And I'll chime in and say I know exactly what they were trying to plant on him.
She asked what it was.
A pair of hands, I think it was. Wasn't that it?
Mm-hmm.
A pair of hands.
She looks
Whoa.
like disgusted and like taken aback. She looks at Kelian and says, "So you got a pair of hands with Aunt Nancy's mark on them?"
No.
I don't remember a pair of hands from that paper. I think I would remember that.
Different trinket. Different trinket.
What is it?
Yeah, and Dolphinder pulls out the parchment with all the drawings on it.
Oh, there's drawings on it. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, this could be hard to lie your way out of.
Well, remember that 5-pointed star. That was not like a Harmonium issued badge. It was some sort of badge of honor, but it wasn't the emblem of the Harmonium or anything like that. He described it as a 5-pointed star, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was something that would have had
badge.
Personal meaning to Anastas, and maybe personal meaning to her house, which could have been associated with the Harmonium on the Prime or some such, but it wasn't, as far as a resident of Sigel's concerned, it's not an item associated with the Harmonium.
Yeah, but I still don't want to let that information around.
Right now she's holding the parchment out and asking you which of the items you're referring to.
I point to the star.
Okay.
You still got it, right? You said he gave it back to you?
I nod. Yeah.
He says, well, I don't approve of you. Well, so how do you tell if you got the star then? You made the deception check. She believed the story. I just want to know what the story is.
It's been in my family for generations.
Okay.
My
remember,
Celestial family is using this.
When you guys rolled up characters, McDohl rolled up the shittiest stats anybody's ever seen, and we decided to give Dolphinder those stats. And let him reroll. So, there's not much going on stat-wise over here.
Wow.
Sorry,
Dolphinder.
She buys a story, and she offers to help clear your name if it's still an issue.
I appreciate that very much. It would help go a long way with not only clearing my name, but being able to get both my house and my status back in the Hall of Records.
And she offers to go to the Hall of Records with you later this afternoon to make appeals to whoever you think it'll be helpful.
Great.
So as far as the Aunt Nancy business, does anybody not currently have their trinket on them?
No, I've got mine.
Okay. So Endoffider again pulls out the silver dagger and shows you all the mark. And she goes around the room and asks everybody to match up what they have, just to make sure she knows who she's dealing with.
I'll take out my sheet of paper.
Okay.
I'll take out my box.
Yeah, once everyone else has started to do it, Kelian also joins them.
Yeah, I'll pull
Come on,
my,
Kelian. Show us yours and we'll show you ours.
I'll pull the pendant off from under my cloak.
Okay. So, she looks very confused at the whole situation. Like, she kind of felt that by seeking out Mahogany, she would get some kind of answers to what's been going on. And she looks more confused than ever now that she sees everybody else is in the same boat, and she's the one in the room with the most information. That has her a little unnerved.
So here's what we do. We find the other people on this list. We find out what their story is. Then we're going to split up. Those of you with access to the Hall of Records, you should go check to see if there's anything we can find out about Aunt Nancy. Meanwhile, me and Serenity will head over to the gymnasium, try to see if he's been involved in any dealings here. We might have some information in.
Okay.
If there's any kind of cross-faction information going on, the gymnasium will probably have the skinny on it.
Why would the gymnasium have that kind of skinny?
I'm figuring because anything taking place between factions, they have the neutral room.
Gets mediated there? Okay.
And what do you want me to do?
What do you do? Well, you know a lot of people. I saw you talking with a few of them the other day. They seemed interesting. They might know something. The voice of the people, right?
Sure. All right. I'll put my ear to the ground.
So, does Riot bring up the
Yeah.
fact that
and
she needs protection?
Yeah. Riot says I'm a little leery about going out on my own, though.
Why's that?
Word is there's someone after my
Why?
hide.
Why would someone want to kill you? I mean, aside from the people that, wanted to grab you.
Is it a slaver?
It is one of the slavers. It's one of those that Diller guy from the Harmonium. Can't
All
get
right.
him all
I
the
see
rest
after
of
you
those
and not the
bastards.
rest of us.
Isn't
Imagine
he
you
in
think-
prison?
Oh no, he escaped from what I heard.
No, yeah, he slipped the barracks before any arrests were being made.
He went to the prison to tip somebody off.
Oh.
He was not sent.
Members of the Harmonium, this is
prison.
commonly known, members of the Harmonium who are guilty or suspected of a crime are kind of on their honor to turn themselves in, and usually they do, because usually they're innocent. And the ones that are guilty usually throw themselves on the mercy of the Harmonium, which may or may not be granted depending on the situation. This Diller guy apparently just fled with the help of his lizard man underling.
Well, I'll stay with you then if you need a bodyguard.
Okay.
Ciclon
Now-
isn't doing anything. He can stay with you too.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the lizard man? The green
Yeah,
lizard
and
man?
I'll mention that I was told that I ought to seek out his lizard man underling.
And I'll bring up that the green lizard man has been looking for me.
Oh, so once again we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
In
You two
Riot
must
Wing.
get along great. All right,
Dolphinder
so we've got the
inquires.
plan. Let's get working.
Dolphinder inquires as to what other information you guys have about this lizard man.
Minion of Dillers. That's all I've got.
So-
Works with Harmonium, I presume.
Do you tell anybody else that you know Diller's an anarchist, or are you keeping that to yourself?
I'm keeping that to myself.
Gotcha.
Especially with the Mercy Killer in the room that I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
Dolphinder says she's going to attempt to find these other two names on the list. So this afternoon, she's going to go with Kelian to the Hall of Records. Who all was going to go and seek out the lizard man?
I guess I'll go do that.
I'll stick with her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just acting as Riot's bodyguard right now.
Was Kelian going to go with that group as well?
I'd like to, yeah.
Okay.
Well, if everyone's going to seek out the lizard man, I'll head with them.
Okay. So, the first thing, the group of you accompany Kelian to the Hall of Records. There's lots of things, interesting things to do on the grounds, even if you're not members of the Fated. But you're not going to be granted access to where Kelian's going. So the question is, who does Kelian go to see? Who does he request to see as in an effort to clear his name in the faction?
Is Torier's boss Darkwood, or whatever his name is?
Everybody's boss is Darkwood.
Darkwood. Yeah, but is there like a direct connection, or is there like a boss above Torier?
There's
and then
layers and layers of
layers
bosses.
and layers.
The thing
Okay.
about the factal, though, because you're a member of the faction, most factals do make themselves available. Darkwood is known for being impatient and for loving the sound of his own voice. So his favorite saying when he speaks at the Hall of Records, in one of the books, they actually give him the saying, "You lucky Burks, I wish I could sit and listen to me talk all day."
he sounds like the exact person I want to go talk to right now.
So, yeah. So
We're gonna go talk to him.
Darkwood is approachable, and you can request time with him, but don't
Yep. waste
waste that time, is the idea. Dolphinder looks a little bit intimidated when she's with you. She's there on official Mercy Killer's business. Looks a little intimidated when you make a request for Duke Darkwood, and she kind of shuffles her weight from foot to foot, like nobody wants to see Darkwood. I'm gonna go find a picture of Darkwood real quick because they are.
All right.
Because that is available.
Oh yeah, there's multiple pictures of Darkwood throughout the books. Some of them are better
He
than
painted
others.
them all.
I'm just so pretty.
You're just going to see
I gotta
Duke
find
Eldov.
that.
Yeah, it's like we're going to go visit Eldov again.
Darkwood could buy and sell Eldov.
Does he have a magical chicken house?
The picture you guys have probably seen flipping through the player's guide, that the PDF I gave you, on the page that describes the faction, that's Darkwood. But it's not the best picture of him. But it looks like the only one coming out on Google image search. I found a little tiny one from the Factals Manifesto that's better. I'm going to paste this in the Twitch chat so everybody can see.
Yay!
Is it the one with them all hunched over?
Rowan.
Yeah, in the book he's all hunched over. In the Factals Manifesto, which is the book that details all the factions, the first introductory page is a speech from the Factal, and he basically spends the whole speech talking about how great he is, and he says that he's just like describing his physical features, despite what some Burke painted me as, all hunched over.
I like this expression of him. He's like, "Bitch, please."
Yeah, he's got his arms crossed. He's got the curly mustache. One of his eyes was whipped out of his head because he spent years sold into slavery in the Hells.
Oh wow!
And he toiled his way out after many years. This is common knowledge. He gives speeches about that all the time, about how he pulled himself up by his bootstraps from the very bottom of the Hells to be factal the fated.
Wow.
So yeah, when Darkwood gets word, do you tell the clerk you make the request to? Do you tell them what it pertains to? What it's?
Yes, I say it pertains to Torgir.
Then Rowan Darkwood is very interested in meeting with you as soon as you can.
All right. Cool.
And you're brought into his office on the very top floor of the Hall of Records, this 40-some story tower filled with offices and clerks. And Dolphinder gets more and more intimidated at the higher you climb. She gets a lot of dirty looks. And eventually you're shown into Darkwood's office. He's standing at the window. Turns around and look at you. Have you ever had a conversation with Darkwood before? I'll ask that.
No.
No? Have you ever attended any of his speeches at the Hall of Records?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because Darkwood is the kind of man that if you had said no, he would know about it.
Okay.
So, attendance at those speeches is not mandatory, but he looks better on the members of his faction that listen to him than the ones that don't.
Okay.
It's Kelian. Who's your friend?
Gesture for her to introduce herself.
And Dolphinder kind of squeaks out her name. Kind of mumbles something about being an official representative of the Mercy Killers in this matter.
It relates to the Torgir investigation. I quickly follow up with.
What do you suppose should be done with him?
Thrown in the prison, never seen again. He has tried to frame me for the murder of Anastas the Truthful, and I want you to know that not only is it fake, that we have witnesses who can testify that he tried to plant evidence.
He holds up his hand
and tried to frame me.
Shakes you, interrupts you, says, "There will be no trial, no courts." He looks at Dolphinder, says, "We remand him to your custody. You march him straight to the prison, and I mean straight." And this is a breach of protocol, because he's not been found guilty of anything yet. And Dolphinder kind of begins to formulate a counter argument about why she can't do that, and does Kelian interject anything?
He encourages what Factal Darkwood is saying. He's like, well, no, it's, this is what Factal wants. This should be done. We have evidence that not only is he guilty, that he's actually trying to frame people of being guilty of a crime that he himself has committed involved with.
Holds up his hand, interrupts, says, "Never mind the evidence." Looks at Dolphinder, says, "If anybody's got a problem with it, you bring it directly to Factal Nalesia. You hear me?" And Dolphinder gives a kind of curt nod. Rowan points his finger and says, "I mean straight." Then he clasps his hand to her. "So, Kelian, a brandy?"
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Darkwood has a couple of the fated aides take Dolphinder out of the room. And he does. He has this crystal decanter, and he pours a glass of dark-looking liquor, hands you a goblet. So I hate to see a fine, upstanding young taker as yourself get caught up in all this unfortunate mess.
It happens, sir.
He says, "Don't worry about the prison. He says, Tori will be doing hard labor on the lower plains. I'm going to see to it that he has a job moving burning rocks across a field and then moving them back."
Good work.
Kelian flashes a Cheshire grin. Sounds good, sir. Sounds real good.
"Stop sniveling like a weasel. Own up to your accomplishments. You've done a good thing. For yourself, for the faction, and for me. What do you do with the brandy?
Nothing. I hold it.
You hold it?
As long as I can.
And he starts to give indications, starts to give you a very stern look.
Ah, alright. Yeah, no, once I catch wind that he's on to me, I start drinking.
And as you're enjoying the brandy, he gives you a little bit of Darkwood small talk for a while, which just kind of includes how great the faction is and how much
awesome
stronger
he
it
is.
is now that this weak link has been ferreted out.
Mm-hmm.
After the brandy's done, he sets his glass down. And he looks you directly in the eye. He says, "Go ahead, ask me for it."
Can I have the promotion into Torier's position?
He clasps you on the shoulder and says, "You damn right you will."
Excellent. I raise my glass and I drink.
And then he dismisses you.
And then I rejoin the group.
Those of you kind of milling about outside, waiting for Kelian to be done, you see the procession come out with Dolphinder and a couple of armed, faded fighters. With Torier, who's dressed in rags, and he's got manacles clasping his arms in front of him. His arms look like noodles at this point. His wrists are red and bloody. It looks like he's been hanging from a ceiling somewhere. And kind of without fanfare, the nobody even looks at the group as they're leaving the grounds. But they make their way towards the gate as Dolphinder marches them away.
What's I keep forgetting her name, the NPC who escorted me up the tower. I'm gonna write her name down. Dolphinder, thank you.
Yeah, she's the Mercy Killer. And then a few moments later, Kelian comes out with a big shit-eating grin on his face.
Well, you look pleased with yourself.
Promotion day in the Hall of Records.
They have days for that? I thought it was just whenever you could get something.
Exactly. I tell Dolphinder about Darkwood courting.
You don't get a chance to talk to Dolphinder again. No, she marched away from Rowan's office, and that's the last you saw of her. The rest of the group saw her leaving the Hall of Records with the prisoner.
Okay. I was going to tell her about Darkwood courting Alicia, but alright.
Even odds that she already knows. If it's an open secret in the Faded, chances are it's an open Faded in the prison as well.
Alright.
Open faded in the prison?
Open secret in the prison.
It's a good day in the prison when they've got an open faded in the prison.
What are words even?
So what's the plan to find the Lizard Man?
That's a good question.
Well, he seems to
Buy
be
some
looking
drinks
for
and
me.
ask about Lizard Man.
Well, he seems
Where-
to be
where
looking
was
for
he-
me, so...
Where was
we
he
can probably-
patrolling when Kelian?
The Great Bazaar.
Yeah, he was following
Sorry.
Kelian through the bazaar.
Seems like that's the best place to start then.
Yeah.
I could also really use some organic tomatoes.
You got to get there real early in the morning, man. They go quick.
Damn it!
I guess technically in Sigil, because of the nature of the multiverse, everything would always be in season.
Seems legit.
So are you guys making inquiries about who's seen this hardhead? Are you, how are you going about looking for
I mean,
him?
is he working as a hardhead? Does he have his badge of office and all that fun stuff?
He seemed to be leading a couple others.
Like, were they actually presenting themselves as a hardhead patrol? I'm asking
I'll-
Kelian.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. They were.
Why don't we just go to the Rhonium's headquarters and ask?
And Riot scoffs. He said, "You think they'll tell us anything?"
We're the heroes of the hour. We rescued all those slaves.
No, we can't go to them for help.
Then who do you suggest we go to for help?
Well, the Great Bazaar. If he's patrolling for Kelian there, we'll find him eventually.
Kelian nods.
All right.
How about we just get some rope and we go to the middle of the Great Bazaar and we tie Kelian down? And we just wait and see how long it takes someone to show up.
Let's just set him on a giant mouse trap.
Riot laughs and slaps Mahogany in the back and says, "I like your way of thinking."
So the five of you go to the bazaar, and within an hour or two, you do notice the three hardheads, one of which is the lizard man with the draconic features, following your group.
How far do you think they'll follow us?
Oh, they'll probably follow me until they have me. So
But
if
I
we want to
suggest-
lead them somewhere, that's fine.
Or if he's looking to keep up his cover story, making noise right here in the middle of the bazaar, turning around and making sure everybody hears this altercation might be a good idea.
In the middle of the bazaar, who's going to stop a bunch of hardheads? I said we leave them to the hive.
The Indepts would. If a fight broke out with some harmonium in the middle of the bazaar, you'd have a bunch of Indepts jumping in the fight. Without a
On
doubt.
whose side?
On your side.
Okay.
No, there's a big push. The Indepts are trying to push the law of the harmonium out of the Great Bazaar.
I say we just stop and ask them what
That
they
sounds
want.
like a great thing to take advantage of.
Yeah, let's just talk to him now.
Okay. Serenity starts making her way
Yep.
up to
But,
the...
she's saying that as she's already broken off from the group. and
You're a
walked up
cipher,
by
I
there.
figured, yeah. And as soon as they lock eyes, they all go for their weapons. And that's going to be initiative.
Oh. Shit, okay.
Says Brick Road as no, there's going to be just role playing tonight. There's not going to be any combat.
I'm always happy whenever we make Richard break out a fight.
Well, I said I
I'll
planned a couple of encounters just in case.
Yeah.
Man alive.
Does this new sheet have an initiative box or not?
I think it does, yeah.
It probably does somewhere, but even if it doesn't, it's just your dex mod.
No, I'm a cipher. I get +2.
Oh.
Hey, Brick Road, I got a phone call I got to take. I'm on 17.
Okay, so you die.
That seems reasonable.
I mean, mute yourself so we don't hear your side of the phone call.
Should I call him and tell him that?
What is Riot on?
20.
20. And what about Kelian?
5. I rolled a 1. I figure if any time to roll a 1, better now.
And Serenity?
Serenity acts at 18.
18. And what about Mahogany?
Mahogany's at 8.
At 8. Riot. What you see as Serenity turns to approach this group. Got about 30 feet of distance between Serenity and these three harmoniums. And you're standing along the edge of the bazaar. A space where early in the morning a lot of food and produce stands had been standing. But that kind of thing, early in the day, they either run out of wares or the produce is only good when it's fresh, fish and meat and things like that. So this part of the bazaar, a lot of the merchants have packed up and left for the day. So it's in a quieter section of the bazaar, but when I say quiet, it's still relatively public. There are still people watching this go down from all angles. So you see Serenity turn and begin to approach the group of three, and they immediately reach for their swords. And it's your action.
All right. I'm going to start whispering to myself, targeting. Is there one within 60 feet of me?
All three are within 60 feet of you, yes.
All right. Let's just say hardhead number 1 then.
Okay.
Not the dragonborn for now.
Okay.
So he's got to make a wisdom saving throw.
What is it you're doing?
Dissonant Whispers.
Dissonant Whispers.
Yep.
He got a 6.
Yeah, that doesn't beat my spell save of 14, so...
And what does Dissonant Whispers do?
On a failed save, takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, which it is, to move as far as its speed allows away from you.
Okay. So immediately one of these hardheads locks eyes with the Tiefling and loses his nerve and breaks, turns around, and begins dashing down the road behind him. Coming up the road behind him...
Psychic
How much psychic damage?
damage for you. I'm rolling that up now. Ooh,
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's 14 psychic damage.
14.
Wow.
He drops unconscious in the street.
Sorry about that, boys. I just had I had a call from work.
Wait, right, uses the remainder of her.
Remainder for what?
Of her turn to whistle innocently.
The direction he's
Kelian
running,
nods approvingly.
coming up the road, you see a little old man trudging along the road with a cart, just on his own power, pulling it. And the cart has 3 giant ostrich-looking birds in the back of it, with pink plumage that's speckled all over with a deeper red. And these things look very mean-spirited. They're all wearing muzzles on their beaks, and the muzzles are strapped around the back of their necks and then strapped to the sides of the cart. And this man is trudging along down the road towards you guys. So the hardhead you whispered at broke and ran, and he made it a few steps before he just got this splitting, searing pain in his head and drops to the ground. Serenity.
Where's the nearest tomato stand?
There are a few rotten or broken ones that the vendor didn't collect up from this morning.
Excellent.
Right next to you.
I'll pick one up and throw it at the other hardhead.
Okay, roll the hit. Just make a ranged attack, so just add your dex, but not your proficiency.
That would be a 19.
19 hits. And the tomato
Proficient in
splats on his face.
And she'll just draw her maul and just sort of stand there defensively between them and the rest of the group.
Okay. Elsie Clone.
Elsie Clone is going to close with the other hardhead, the one that just got hit with the tomato.
Okay.
And put him on the ground.
Define put him on the ground.
Preferably in a punch-drunk stupor.
Okay. Because he's busy wiping tomato guts out of his face, go ahead and roll your first attack with advantage.
First attack with advantage. 16 plus 4 is 20.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 6 damage.
How much?
I'm not looking to kill. 6.
6? Okay.
I'm not looking to kill him or anything.
Okay. He's not knocked out. You didn't get him with the one hit.
Hit him again. 14.
That hits.
For another 5 damage. So
Okay.
11 damage total.
You managed to aim a few strikes into the seams in between his armor, especially at the neck. And he's dealing with this tomato, and he's dealing with being bludgeoned by this monk. Not looking healthy at this point. And he's managed to get his sword out of his scabbard and bring it down on you. What is Elsie Clone's AC?
15.
I'm sorry, 15?
Yep.
9 points, slashing damage. He
Good
takes
thing
his
I-
sword.
I was about to say, good thing I rolled the 3 for hips on my level.
When did you level up?
Thought it was during the overnight.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking because you didn't
Okay.
specifically say you were using the time to level up. So
Okay, I'm sorry.
For future reference, use a downtime action just to say I'm leveling up.
Okay.
So you spent the time practicing katas or whatever.
We also
Also,
rolling HP. I thought we weren't rolling HP.
we're not. Take the average.
Oh well, then I have more than I got more than 3 then.
Yeah, take the average and then add your con bonus. Yeah, we decided that in the first session. Personally, I'm against that decision, but I'm just
Oh,
the
me
DM.
too. Me too.
Yeah, me too.
So
That's a degenerate.
the guy
thing, is
swaggers
really
for a moment, his face covered in tomato, and you aim a couple good punches at his neck, and you think he's going to go down, but he manages to steel himself, whip his sword out of his scabbard, and gets 2 really good slashes on you.
Yeah.
You feel the bite of it along the side. Dragonborn belts out, pointing at Kelian. Says, "Remember, we need that one alive." Starts forward. And blows dragon breath on you guys.
Boo.
Uh-oh.
It's not
Boo.
like great dragon breath though. It's just level 1 dragon breath.
Not leveled up yet, though.
Hey, but it's a different type of dragon breath this time.
Yeah, that's what I'm double checking to see what kind it is. Forgot. Poison.
Plasticity.
So he does. He moves past. So El Ciclon, he's going to move past your threat range.
I'll take my reaction for that.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, never mind.
And focusing on the guy in front of you and trying to dodge unsuccessfully out of the way of the sword, you try to sweep around and get a kick on the Dragonborn as he goes by, but he's wearing armor. So the kick doesn't manage to do very much. He stops right in front of Serenity. Belts out out of his mouth, this just green, just noxious fluid. So everybody except LC Clone make a Constitution save. I just had the DC, then I closed the book. Because I'm a genius.
Always the way.
You're a smart head.
I'm a smart head. I like that.
Well, either way, I think I passed it. Jesus Christ.
Me
Probably.
too.
Nope.
I got it 22.
Okay.
Honor system, everyone just say whether they think they passed.
DC's only 12, so if you beat 12 on your con check.
I did not.
Oh,
If you did not, you take 8 points of
11.
poison damage.
And
If
I'm
you
down.
did not beat the 12. So
I'm
the
down.
poison coats all of you.
I'm down.
Riot and Kelian breathing it in, getting in their throats. They begin to choke and cough, and they both drop to the ground. And then you see the Dragonborn reach down and pull his sword. Y'all got punked by a Dragonborn early in the Flumph campaign too, didn't you?
We did.
Mahogany.
No, I remember putting him to sleep a lot.
Actually, yeah, kind of. We punked that Dragonborn.
It's Mahogany's turn.
Mahogany is going to. First, I'm going to cast whatchamacallit, Shillelagh, as
Okay.
always. It's a good start. Then I'm going to walk over to the Dragonborn, and I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on him.
And what does Fairy Fire do?
He has to make a dex save. Oh, actually, he and is this friend within 20 feet of him?
Yes. Technically,
Yeah, he and his
technically
friend
they
have
both
made
are,
dex
but one's
saves.
already down. Dex saves? Okay. 15 and 16.
Okay, well, I don't think they pass.
Okay. That, like, grants advantage on attacks against them if they fail, right?
Right.
Okay. Because I think our bard...
But
and
anyways,
our-
I'm gonna stand right next to him, so he's gonna need to get by me to get to anyone else.
Okay. Kelian, make a death save.
$17.
You're good. So
Yay.
Mark, now the spot on the character sheet we're using, you can't actually click the little boxes. So what I'm thinking we might do is just delete the little image there and just write in like made one or
X's.
failed one or something like that. Like X's and O's might work too. Yeah.
Yeah.
X's
Riot, go ahead and make a death save.
Okay.
If I kill 2
This
PCs,
is,
I'll be so
what,
happy.
10 or...
Yeah, just want to get over 10.
But you didn't kill it, but it doesn't look like you're killing the one that is going to automatically reincarnate into something else.
Riot didn't level yet.
Someone else want to roll for me? The dice are
I'll do
acting
it.
really strange for me.
Just
Yeah, the die is acting really weird.
I'm to be trusted.
All right.
10. You're all set.
All right.
So you got one
All right,
pass.
cool.
You hear a voice from down the road. One of the indepts in the bazaar shouts something about bringing down the hardheads. And you hear a loud crashing sound as he brings down this cudgel on the front of this cart, carrying these 3 birds, who immediately break free.
Can we get a Choco Cure in the back row?
Serenity.
I'll settle with Choco Meteor as well. Let's go ahead and do Action Trance,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna swing my maul at him.
That's a bonus action to turn
This
on
is
your
not-
action trance, right?
Yeah, and this is non-lethal.
Non-lethal.
That'll hit an armor class of... It's a new sheet yet.
Hi.
18?
That hits.
For 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay. Moving or staying put?
She'll stay put.
Okay.
Unless she... Yeah, no, he's fine, because between him and Mahogany, he can't get past us, right, basically, without eating an AO.
Right, because Ciclon is standing behind him right now.
Okay, yeah.
And then
yeah,
you and
same.
Mahogany are right up on him. That brings us to Ciclon. What the haps, yo?
Dynamic cooking time.
Yep, he needs to be put on the ground. So I'm going to take one swing at him,
Okay.
and that's going to miss.
That misses, yeah.
And then, let's see, I have options now. I'm going to patient defense as a bonus action,
Okay.
burning one of my key points to take dodge.
Okay.
As a bonus action.
Gotcha. So, Ciclon is kind of sticking and weaving around this guy, trying to aim blows at, probably at his face. Looks to be the only part that is not really armored. So it's going to come to hard hit number 2. What's your AC, Ciclon?
15.
15. 1 hit. Out of 4 attacks. Or out of 2 attacks at disadvantage.
Yep.
5 slashing damage.
And Ciclon's down.
As this hardhead brings his sword back around, seeing you ducking and weaving, tries to slice in twice, but only manages to get your arm once. But the pain of it racks your brain and puts you on the ground. Mahogany, what's your AC?
17.
Miss and miss. The Dragonborn, with his sword, comes in at you. You see he's trying to force his way through you and get back to where Kelian is, laying on the ground. But he's got to cut through you first, he figures, and he's trying to get in with his sword, and you block both of his blows with your shillelagh. So your turn, Mahogany.
Alright, I'm going to try to bash his head in.
Do it.